Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends Venompool wave, Morbius. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today we're taking a look at the Marvel Legends Venompool wave, Morbius, the living vampire. So this is a second Morbius figure we have got in Hasbro era, and this is a much nicer looking Morbius in my opinion. It is straight out of the 90s comics, and I believe this is in this wave as the Morbius movie was meant to come out. So they were trying to give Morbius a bit of love, but that film has been delayed till next year. So maybe we're even seeing Morbius movie figures in the future. Who knows, but at least we have a nice updated comic look for the shelves until then. So he doesn't seem to come with much in the box apart from Build-A-Figure pieces, but I'm fine with that as this is a nice looking Build-A-Figure. On the side of the box we're getting a nice image of this vampire Morbius. On the back we get some more promo shots, a little write-up that reads, Michael Morbius, the living vampire, prowls the night tortured by his life-sustaining thirst. So of course he needs blood, but I can't help but think that Morbius needs plasma because of that cartoon from the 90s. But still, he has a list of all the figures in this wave you need to complete the Venompool Build-A-Figure. Today we're reviewing Morbius. So as I said, every time I look at this guy, I think plasma, even though that isn't how it is. That was just for the cartoon, because the cartoon didn't want you thinking you needed blood, did you now? So anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get him open. So here we have Michael out of the box, and again, my white background is probably going to make his face fade away, but we'll take a closer look in a second. So as you can see, he comes with no accessories apart from the Build-A-Figure pieces for the Venompool. So you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, find the playlist, come back as we will be reviewing him last. But today is about Michael Morbius. So this guy's going to be good up on a flight stand, the way his hair is posed and whatnot. But we get no interchangeable hands or anything like that. We get his cape, but you see what I mean? Straight away I can get him in a decent sort of hovering stance. So let's zoom in and take a closer look at what we got. And this is what we've got, a very nice looking Morbius, the living vampire head, straight from the 90s comics. So the face is all white with those red eyes. There's no pupils in there, they're just all red. But I do like the black outline to sort of make him stand out a little bit more. So he's got the fangs with the open mouth as well. And the mouth is painted a little bit darker red than the eyes. So again, I like that a lot. His hair is sculpted in his way where he's sort of in action pose, if you will, so he's sort of flying. So as I said, you can get the hair back and he's sort of already in a flying pose. So if you're trying to get him in some more neutral poses for your ACBA, that may be frustrating, but we will do some head swaps in a minute and see what we can do. But overall, I'm liking that head sculpt quite a bit. So the jacket seems to be a new torso piece, this sort of like leather jacket with a fold there. The collar piece he's got on his neck is a separate sort of rubber collar piece that you can sort of manipulate. So I've sort of moved that around so the buckle's on the front, but that holds the neck joint, I guess, so it's sort of a bit more blended in. The shoulders will go all the way up as well, so there's no problem there at all. And it's quite a smooth texture as well. It's not really any texture detail, it's just quite smooth. The arms are probably reused from something or other, as they're just very simple, a bit shiny underneath my lights as well. These hands, I believe, are from Spider-Man 1999 or 2009, whatever it's called. But you know what I mean, the sort of grippy hands. But yeah, these look decent and they work for Morbius. Again, I just think of the cartoon version where it'd have those sort of like pulsating little plasma sucking things on his hands. But again, that was just for the cartoon. It's not actually part of Michael Morbius's story in the comics. This seems to be a separate piece as well, this sort of rubber piece. Yeah, that is a separate piece. Gives it a bit more layer and texture. So I guess Hasbro can remove that and then use this torso for other figures in the future. But I wonder who. But yeah, you can twist that, if you know what I mean. But it hides the break for the waist swivel pretty well, to be fair. And the crunch on the ab is decent as well. Let me zoom out a little bit. So there you go. You can get him crouched and back a bit. And again, it's all smooth. Legs go out pretty far. Double jointed knees, as you would expect. And then a decent ankle pivot, of course. So for what you're going to want to get imposed up in, it's going to work out well. The cape, as you can see, is a bit tattered here at the back, and it's all one sort of colour. There's not really any, sort of looks like there's a detail to it, but it's not. It's just the shadows, which is fine if it works. And that is just pegged in the back. Nice and simple. There's a peg there at the back. There is the back of the figure, and then there is cape, one separate piece. So if you want him without his cape, That is definitely something you can do. But let's plug the cape back in. And again, you can manipulate that if you want a little bit, but I don't know why you would. But yeah, best bet is to get Michael Morbius all posed up with his head back on a flight stand, get his feet out a little bit, and he's like this hovering vampire patrolling the night. But yeah, looking good. So let's compare him to the previous release. So here we have our Morbius comparison, and at the start of the video I said this new one is a much nicer Morbius, but now I've got this old one back out. I don't hate this one at all. This is still a very nice Morbius and will still hold up on your shelves without a doubt. I actually prefer the costume design to this previous one than I do on this new one. The skin tone as well is a little bit different. You can see the Morbius here, the white skin is a lot dirtier. It's like got a darker wash, and it's a lot sort of cleaner and sort of brighter on this Morbius. So this is like a sort of battle-worn Morbius compared to this guy. But as I said, this is a look from a particular comic run in the 90s where this is a more broad Morbius look. But both of them have got the face sculpts with the mouth wide open. This one's got a bit of chin hair, but the eyes are both still red with the black outline. Obviously, this hair is in a bit more of an action pose than that one. But we can see if we can do a head swap. I would do a cape swap, but there's really no need because, again, it wouldn't be accurate to the character designs they're portraying. Yeah, nice Morbius. Honestly, no wrong answer. Pick your preference for your Morbius look, but both of these are very nice figures. This one still will hold up in your collection for sure. But yeah, let's do a head swap and see how they look. So as you can see, I've swapped the heads, and there could have been potential here, but I don't think it quite works. So if I show you this one, for example, I actually like this head sculpt on this body, but you can see how it might not show off in my lighting very well, but the skin tone of their face is different to the body. It's just a lot brighter on the face, and unfortunately as well, the way his hair is sort of sculpted, the collar piece sort of sticks it, so you can't actually get his head any further back, which is a shame because, as I said, this head sculpt with this body doesn't look too bad at all. It's just it's sort of stuck in that pose as you're not going to move his head further back with that collar piece. But overall, apart from the skin tone issue, which you probably can't tell, that doesn't look that bad at all. I actually quite like that look. Where this one, it might be a bit more obvious where the neck's a bit long, and the skin tone is definitely different to the hands. But again, because the hands are so far away, you might not be able to tell. Maybe you can tell there. But yeah, this face is a lot dirtier, a bit more gritty Morbius with the hair and whatnot. But you see what I mean? It's like got long neck syndrome compared to this one. So there are options for kit bashing, but I don't think either of them quite work. Moving into some comparisons, here we have Morbius compared to Spider-Man and Venom. And here we have them compared to the other two figures that are already reviewed in this wave, which is of course the Venomized Miles Morales and Ghost Spider. And again, I do think these two can work as little henchmen, little sidekicks for a lot of your villains. So, final thoughts, this is a very nice Morbius, the living vampire. Again, I don't think you're ever going to see Dracula in Marvel Legends form, so this is going to be your best bet at getting one of those classic monsters. But yeah, obviously, Morbius, nice Spider-Man villain, or even for Blade or somewhere like that in your display. We'll definitely get him on a flight stand, I think, somewhere on mine, as that hair is definitely posed for a flying stance. But you let me know what you think in the comments below. Were you a 90s Morbius fan? Do you prefer this look or the previous figure? Always curious to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And you know what to do, check out the videos tab, find the playlists, but most importantly, please, 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 hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. You're in a position to support the channel. You can do that on Patreon. Links in the description below. But until next time, people, follow me on Twitter at DanWhoReviews. And I shall see you on the next one.